Hey guys, it's Lori with LM's Crafty Creations, and I am here with a new project to share with you for National Scrapbook Day for countrycraftcreations.com. I have created an album using the Camp Happy Bear collection by Becky Moore, put out by Photoplay, and it is super cute. This is the collection pack. I just use one pack, and then I use some pieces from the ephemera pack, and I think that's it. Just one collection pack is all I used for this album. Now you can see from the front of the album, I did supplement a couple of papers from like the Authentique line that has the polka dots, like a navy, and then this is a gray color on the front cover. This is a sticker. It says "Let's Get Lost." This is a pocket, and the design on the front is similar to what the design is on the inside of the book. And so these are just cut aparts that hold the flap closed. And this is just a simple pocket inside where you can put additional photo mats. Okay. Once I decorated the cover last, which, you know, you're not really supposed to do. And I didn't save paper out for it like I normally do. And so I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough paper. But when I finished the album, I ended up having like one sheet left that I could have used here, but you know, turned out I like the polka dots. So here is the spine. It is 2.5 inches, I think. I can't remember. And here is the back. Super cute. On the inside, you know, I love to do my pockets on the front cover. I've added some seam binding, and I love these two papers together. And I've just added just some cut aparts inside the pocket. So here is the design. It is 4 pages. And on the first one, I have this super cute cut apart. Again, keeping this flap closed like the front cover, except for this flap folds down. And on the inside, these little pockets have booklets. So you can put 2 3x4 photos on these, and also the back and the front if you wanted to. And so this is the same way, just a cut apart, and it's a booklet. And then these two, of course, they fold out, and here is the inside. So I decorated these mostly the same. I kept the photo mats the same size, which I don't normally do, but I just thought it would be a good idea to have as large of photos as you possibly can in this small album. Okay, so just some stickers here. And this folds up, and this keeps it closed. And then flip it over. Now, I tell you, I have this little photo mat here because I made a mistake. Because these little pieced pieces that I put on the edge rub against these pieces here. So you can prevent that if you create this album by just matting this as one solid piece instead of piecing it together with these 2 end pieces like I did. So that was a mistake. Okay, so this side, it's a little belly band, or a large belly band actually, and it just has a plain photo mat. They all have plain photo mats on the inside, and they just slip in like that. Here is a booklet. These hold 4x4 photos, and then you have this space inside with all these really cute stickers. And that keeps that closed. So I put this photo mat here so it doesn't rub against this and mess up my paper anymore. Here, another cute fish cut apart. This opens up, flips down just like the other one. They're all the same. And then you have these adorable cut aparts. I just love these. And look at that paper. Isn't it so cute? This is the perfect camping album, I think. And this opens up, and just a sticker right there, and then the fishing paper. These fold in. Here, again, the booklet. This one I pieced together by cutting out, punching out hexagons, and they're all plain on the inside. And then there's a photo mat back here, and I did try to match the paper on this side with the paper on this side, so they should all kind of color coordinate, hopefully. This opens up, and just a few stickers on the inside. And then I added these strips of paper for just some interest. Oops, am I in frame? There we go. Okay. On this side, again, there's the cut apart. These are 4x6 photo mats. So I did trim my cut aparts down just slightly to get them to fit on there. This opens up. Here are these booklets. And again, they're all plain on the inside, so they flip open. This is a piece from the ephemera pack, and this is a sticker. And here, again, I pieced my paper together, and then I have a sticker on the front, just a plain booklet. This opens up, and again, just more stickers on the inside of the little flaps. And then you have this cute animal paper. Oops, I forgot to put this one back over here. Here's a cut apart, and then it flips down. And then I love the checkered ones. And here are these two cut aparts. The animals are so cute. And then just some stickers placed here and here. And this time I actually didn't for a change, put them on black cardstock. Usually I do that and I cut around them, but I just thought if you keep the paper sort of plain here and not so busy, then you can just stick the stickers directly onto the page. And last one here, again, I pieced the paper together for that booklet, and this opens up and just a few more decorations there. And then of course your photo mat in the background of all of them. So I didn't count how many photos this holds, but it's quite a lot. And then here's the last pocket, and then again just a couple of cut aparts. So really cute collection. The album went together, I put it together in a day, really, and it's super quick, I think, to put together and fun to decorate. So let's go ahead and go through the tutorial. Oops, left this one out. See, I always forget that. So I will tell you that I created my spine at, let me tell you what this actually is. Yeah, I did 2.5-inch spine. Look at how full this is. I mean, once you put pictures, it's going to be really full. And so I would do a bigger spine, and I did 3/8 of an inch gussets right here. I would actually go ahead, if you're going to stuff it full like I did with all the booklets, I would do 1/2-inch gussets. So I'm going to give you the measurements to do either the 3/8-inch gussets like this if you want to keep it simple, or if you want to do your album a little bit larger, you're going to want to do the 1/2-inch gussets, and I'll give you those measurements for the binding as well. Okay, so let's talk about the tutorial. The first piece that you're going to need is this one, and it's going to be cut to 7 inches by 12 inches. You're going to score on the 12-inch side at 5 inches, 5 1/8, 10 1/8, and then 10 1/4. So you can see there are my score lines. Okay, and I'm just going to fold on all of those score lines. And these little 1/8 of an inch gussets are a pain to score, so I'm sorry ahead of time, because they're just enough to give you the room that you need. Oh, you know what? What I'm going to do, what I did in my album, is I rounded the corners of the flap. So I'm going to do that now so you can see that. And I'm going to fold on these. Okay. And here is our little kind of like envelope pocket. So after that, you're going to want to attach the base. Where did it go? Now I have two different colors of cardstock here on purpose so that you can see better. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to attach the back to it. So this is going to be cut to 6 inches by 7 or 6 by 7 and then score on the 7-inch side at score on the 6-inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Okay, and then fold on those score lines. I'm getting all kinds of confused today. And then we're going to take our glue or tape or whatever you like to use. I like to use glue. And I am going to glue this down. I like to put glue on both sides and then stick it down. Make sure that you don't go over those gussets that you just created on that other piece. Kind of helps me if I stand it up. You can kind of see those gussets right here, so it looks like the black is peeking out. But if you had the same color cardstock, it wouldn't matter. Okay. I also used a different paper trimmer when I cut this, so I hope it all comes together correctly. That'd be my luck, right? Okay. So next, we're going to flip this down, and we're going to do our flaps on the inside. So you're going to need 2 flaps. They're both going to be cut at 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then you're going to just score on one side at 1/2 inch. And just fold on the score lines for both of those pieces. And what I did is I added my glue, and then I added it right below this score line at the top. So just right under that score line. I didn't center it on the page, but you could if you wanted to. I just added it right under that score line at the top. And then for this next flap, I added it directly at the bottom. So I went down here and lined it up with the bottom. And just make sure that it lines up perfectly straight down here and doesn't go over your cardstock. Okay? So, easy enough, right? There's our 2 flaps. Got a little crooked right there. Okay. Now I'm going to take 2 pockets. These are cut to 2.5 inches by 5 1/4 and score on the 2.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 5 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And where's my scissors? We are going to miter these corners by just cutting right across the diagonal on where those score lines meet. I'm going to do that to both pockets. Okay. And what I did is I like to punch these a notch in the middle of these with my envelope punch board. So what I do is I just find the middle of the paper and I just punch a notch in the middle, and that's what I like to do. But I'm not going to do it for the video. I'm just going to stick this down. Okay, and it just matches up perfectly with the cardstock. There's no gap or anything. It just matches perfectly up with that flap. And I'm going to fold on these. And I'm going to place this one at the bottom. Now, I did notice that if I put the booklets in these, that, because, you know, obviously you're going to lift this up, and whatever's in this pocket, has a tendency to fall out. But if I put the booklets in there after I matted it, then I didn't have that problem. So that is one of the reasons for the booklets, besides it just adds extra photo space to your book. So that folds up. This closes. Now what you're going to want to do before you put the pocket that goes here, you're going to want to mat your page with your paper. So do this pocket absolutely last. Since I'm not going to mat this page, this is just a test page, I'm going to go ahead and miter my corners on this one and stick it down. Now this one is 2.5 by 6 1/4. You're going to score on the 2.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 6 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And you're going to fold the score lines. That seems awfully small. I don't think that's right. Front pocket. I did say 6 1/4, but I don't think that's right. Nope, it's not. Okay, sorry guys. It should be 7 1/4. That's wrong on my notes here. Front pocket, 7 1/4. You know, almost always there is something that I get wrong. Okay, so I'm not going to stick that down because it's not the right size. But anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to mat this page. And what I did is I just had an equal border all the way around when I stuck it down of the pattern paper that I could see. Okay, so that one goes to the side. All right, so the front of this is done. So for the photo mat that goes in here that holds this flap down, it is cut to 4 inches by 6 inches. And then if you put a cut apart on top of that, you'll just have to cut it down slightly, all right, to decorate it. All right, let's talk about the back. The back has a large belly band, and it is cut to 4 3/4 by 6 inches. And then you're going to score on the 6 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And just fold on those score lines. Whoops. And it's going to go directly. And so what I did, you could measure and make sure you get the even space on each side. I didn't do that. I just eyeballed it. So I'm just going to put my glue on both ends. And I'm going to stick it down. And you have just a second, literally a few seconds with this glue to make sure you get it in the right space because it dries so quickly. Okay, there you go. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to do what I call the doors. You're going to cut 2 pieces to 2 7/8 by 5 inches, and then you're going to score on the 2 7/8 inch side at 1/2 inch. Excuse me, at 1/2 inch. Fold on those score lines. And what I like to do ahead of time is they're going to actually just be stuck right down to this belly band. I like to kind of just line them up and make sure they're going to fit properly and evenly. And then I glue them. So this one's going to go down here. And I'm just going to line this up to make sure. Yep, getting them in the right space. This one's going to go on this side. Again, going to just line them up. Sometimes I leave a bit of a gap in the middle so that they don't stick together. And there are my doors. Now we need our little pockets to keep the doors closed, and those need to be cut. So let's see, we have two cut at 2.5 by 2.5 inches, and then you're going to score on two sides at 1/2 inch. And then we need to measure and cut these. Now let me see. I think my angle was 1/2 inch. Yep. Okay. I'm going to make sure. Let me grab a pen. So I'm going to miter the corners on each of them. And I'm going to, whoops, fold on the score lines. Now what I do is I just measure one and I use it to cut the other one because I find that easier. So I'm going to see how I have my hinges this way. I'm going to measure on the side with the hinges at the top. I'll put my ruler here. I'm going to measure over 1/2 inch, okay? And I'm going to make a mark at 1/2 inch. Whoops. And I'm going to get my black pen everywhere. And then I'm going to turn it over to the side that doesn't, the opening, you know, that doesn't have any hinges, and I'm going to measure 1/2 inch down here. So now I have these two marks, one at the top and one at the side, and I'm going to join them together with a line. I've shown you all how to do this several times, but just in case there are new people. Okay. So I have my line that's joined them together, and I'm just going to cut straight across that to get my angle that I want, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this one this way and line it up with the hinges on this one. So see where I've got going here? And I'm going to use this one to cut this one. Super easy, right? They do not have to be 100% accurate. And then I am going to stick them down. This one goes on this side. Then this one goes here. All right, and that's it. What you're going to do is you're just going to put your booklet or whatever, let's just fold this and pretend, in here to keep that closed. Okay. So I've included all the measurements for all of the booklets that I created for the book in the description box down below, as well as all the measurements for the entire page, because y'all know I always do that. I do want to talk quickly about the binding. So I've made two here. So here is the one that I created, the one that I use for my book, and it has 3/8 of an inch gussets. You can see the 3 gussets there that I've marked. I did want to show you that on the end here, I used just a 12-inch piece of cardstock. And so over here you have 1.5 inches. Like here's your first, let me just show you. So we're going to fold. Okay. So say we have our first hinge here, right? This is our second hinge. If I can fold it correctly. Okay. So I keep this 1.5 inches here because that's the length that I like to attach to my book. And usually I have 1.5 inches on the end too. But this time I only ended up with 1 3/8 inches and I didn't worry about it. I just left it that way. Sometimes I'll add an additional piece of cardstock to this to make it 1.5 inches. but on this album I didn't worry about that. Now that's only if you want the 3/8 of an inch gussets like I did, okay? If you want to make your album a little bit bigger, I would do 1/2 inch gussets, which I wish I would have done for mine, but I was trying to keep it small. Now the only thing is that when you do 1/2 inch gussets for this, you have your 1.5 inches here because that's where you start making your score lines. But then in the end of here, you only end up with 1 inch. I don't like that. So what I do is I cut another piece of cardstock that's 1.5 inches, and I glue it on top of here right up next to this last score line, okay? That's what I do. And I do that after I've already folded and put everything together. Now, if you'll just bear with me a moment, I am going to slide some glue on this since this is just a test and figure out. You're going to need a little bit larger spine to do the 1/2 inch gussets, I think. So if I just glue this together quickly, and you could speed this up if you want to. You don't have to watch this. Now, obviously, when I'm doing my own binding, I don't do it like this at all. I'm pretty meticulous, and I actually do a combination of tape and glue when I do my own binding, but this is just for teaching purposes. Okay, so here's our hinge. And for you newbies, what I do is we have this hinge. How I figure out how big the spine is going to be on an album is I create my hinge system first a lot of times, because obviously this is what my pages are going to go on. This space right here with these 3 gussets, that's how big at least that I need my spine to be. So that right there is about, I would say, 1 3/4 inches because I round up. So it's really 1 inch and 5/8. So I would go 1 3/4 inches, and then I give myself a 1/2 inch on each end as well. So you're probably going to want your spine to measure 2. You could go 2.5 inches. Now, what did I say my spine was on the other one? I didn't write it down. Okay, so I wonder if I did, bear with me a second. I think I did it at 1 1/4 inches. I mean, 1 1/4 inches, 2 1/4 inches. And so you're going to want to do your spine at 2.5 inches. And then, like I said, what I would do here, since this is noticeably shorter than this, I would just glue another piece on here to extend this and make it the full length to attach it to my album. And then when I go to glue my pages on, I'm only going to glue them halfway down. This is black. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this. Nope. Halfway down the hinge, because it just gives your pages more room to move. Okay, so that is my little talk on binding. I hope that helps you guys, because I know some people have had questions about it lately, so I wanted to kind of clarify that quickly. If there's anything else that you need help on, you want to know, I do have at the beginning of my channel, I have what I call mini album basics. So if you're new to making mini albums, you can watch that video. I go through tons of stuff: closures, magnets, swing tabs, binding. I think I added the binding. I'm not sure if I did or not. Definitely how to create the covers and cover your chipboard and all that good stuff. So make sure you, I'll actually link that video down below so that way you can check that out as well. So let me know how you like the tutorial. I definitely want to see your creations. So if you've created your album with a paper that you purchased from countrycraftcreations.com, please share it on the Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations Facebook page. but you can share your album no matter what paper you created it with on my Facebook page if you like, and that is LM's Crafty Creations on Facebook. So thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.